The Graduate at Graduation is more than a phrase. It is a program of formation that engages our students and challenges them to become men who are loving, committed to doing justice, religious, intellectually competent, and open to growth.
My BC High story actually started far back as I can remember. My mother's father was class of 1935. My dad, class of 1959. I have numerous uncles and relatives who are all BC High alumni. To me, BC High is about three things. It's about community, it's about connectedness, and it's about camaraderie. So as I look at the graduate at graduation and the characteristic of loving, I think that is really the core of what BC High stands for. And it's not only the love that you feel when you're inside the building, but it's when you're outside the building and you run into BC High alumni. There's that feeling of welcome. And really what differentiates BC High is that feeling of connectedness, that culture, the camaraderie, that all adds to love.
My involvement at Pine Street Inn, it started with Frank Kelly, Monsignor Frank Kelly, who's a classmate of mine at BC High. Christmas time, we do the gift wrapping, and we had 19 members of our extended family wrapping gifts at Pine Street. You know, my kids, grandkids, my nephews and nieces, their kids. It was a great day. Ignatius talks about seeing God in everyone. That's pretty difficult, but I think that's the ideal, and I think you do it through respect, and particularly for the individual, whether it's at Pine Street or whether it's at BC High.
BC High gave me this sense that it's okay to be me, not to be somebody else. And that's the first step to becoming the true self. Faith was a big, big gift to me at BC High. When I came to BC High and was in the chapel with this 12 or 15 guys with our guidance counselor priest and being asked to come to the altar at the Eucharistic prayer, that was a big aha moment for me to really say, yeah, I think I get it now. I understand what the cross is all about. Pope Francis, when he talks about loving those the most marginalized of society, the homeless, the people that don't have a shirt on their back. And BC High instills upon us becoming that man for others.
I always tell people that the Jesuit education is what made me who I am today. What happened my junior year was I was placed in Mr. Connor's honors chemistry class, and I failed the first test, completely bombed it. And so I was really mad at myself, and he could tell. And he pulled me aside and he said, Nnamdi, this is the only second chance you're gonna get in life, ever, okay? Life is not about second chances, but I'll give you one. And he let me retake the test and I got a B. So I think I've carried that along throughout my whole life, sort of thinking that life, you don't get second chances, and that when you do get them, you should capitalize on them. Being competent intellectually is being able to take what you read and learn and apply them to real life issues and problems. Because when you grow up, you're not going to be taking tests the whole time. Your test is going to be, solving world hunger or finding a cure for a disease.
BC High has been a very important part of our family, and it was very important to my brother. When we sent Naveed to BC High and Ariane as well, it was really to come to a place to be open, to be diverse, to meet other kids from other backgrounds and other cultures. We're a two-culture family and a two-religion family. It was important to us that he understand that he does belong in this broader world and understand how to relate to people like that.
I recently returned from Tanzania, a trip sponsored by the Hyde Center. This was my second time going. Last year as a junior, I went as students of Cairo. And this year I returned as a senior leader. And some of the stories that I heard in Africa just made everything just seem so much more real. I remember one story of a little girl who, in the middle of the night, her parents were killed by two people trying to rob their family. And now she lives with her aunt.
Watching him take that step was really important. So that to me was, being a risk taker and being open for that type of experience, being open to growth. He has grown and he now views himself as a citizen of the world. As we sit here 6 years after Naveed showed up at Arupe, we really are glad that he's come to BC High. We want to thank BC High for turning him into the man that he is, truly a man for others.
On behalf of the Abuhula family, I'd like to thank the Hope BCI community for your love, your support.
Thank you to the administration. Thank you to the faculty. Thank you to the Jesuits.
For loving me for who I am, for nurturing my faith.
In my life today, at this advanced age, there is nothing more meaningful for me than to help out BC High.
We should all be proud to be Eagles.
So now you can throw the ball up in the air and just kind of laugh and look at Kim and, throw it up and don't drop it. Give us a memory when you were at BCI, like a social memory, like what was the music that was playing when you were in school, that kind of stuff.
Stand with me, support, and that kind of a...
And thank you for this beautiful tie.
Okay.